Well, a pleasant welcome to each and every one of you. It's Tuesday and it's Bible quiz, Bible trivia time. Welcome to the Rockville Church of God of Prophecy. Pastor Robin Ballroom here. I trust that you've had a pleasant day thus far and that you're looking forward to a wonderful time in the presence of the Lord. This is a learning time, a learning experience, and I challenge everyone to recognize that we are learning. So it's a process, and I pray that you will look at it that way. It's not a winner, it's not a loser, it's learning. So when you miss a question, don't feel bad about it. You're learning. You are learning as much as I am. I took the quiz before I gave it, or before I'm giving it to you, and I did not get 100%, so don't feel bad. I missed a few questions well myself. So just let's get ready and get set. There's a little piece I was wanting to do beforehand, but this is going to take a little bit longer than normal. I'm going to go back for a few questions prior to where we picked up from last week. I think we ended with the question on Solomon and the baby, but we're going to go back a bit before that and get to the rest of them. I wanted to be able to share with you, because in doing the questions last week, some of you were writing the answers as, the actual answer out. And then we started doing the A, B, C, and D, and whichever one was the answer. So we'll do the same thing. I was trying to get it all done before I started, but then I ran into some issues with some other things. So we're going to begin this afternoon, and I trust that you are ready for this. Our first one will be a fill in the blanks thing, and we're going to go into that question. All right, so here we go. Fill in the blanks. Something I leave with you, something I give unto you, not as the world giveth, give I unto you. And I am going to have to work along with you on that. Is it A, comforter, B, wisdom, C, peace, or D, power? Which one is it? Is it A, comforter, B, wisdom, C, peace, or D, power? I have a little bit of music, I think, that's playing in the background, just to help us along as we go on. If it's disturbing or distracting, then I'll have to take it out, but let me see if I can get myself some help so that we can pull all of this together properly. Hey. Alright, so we go to alright, and the answer to that is peace. Peace would be the answer to that, so if you have that, and that would be your answer. For those who got that right, we appreciate. If you didn't, alright, so we'll take off. Andrew said the music is a little bit too much. I'm going to try to see if I can take off the gospel instrumentals and lower the volume on it and see if we can get that right. Alright, so it might be a little bit better, but if it still is, I can just turn it off. Let me know what your feedback is. In what book, or in which book, does the term New Jerusalem appear? In what book does the term New Jerusalem appear? And let me see if I can follow along with you for those who are answering. think I've got a... All right. Shafi, Juliet is with us. Awesome, Juliet. Paulette and everyone that's with us thus far, we thank you for your presence with us. But if your answer to the question, is it still on the answer? So I am on a little bit of a delay. Okay, and then I didn't give you the answer to this one. So the new question should show up any minute. All right, come on. In which book does the term New Jerusalem appear? And if your answer to that is Revelation, then you would be correct. That would be D, as in Deborah. All right, if your answer to that was Revelation or D, then you are correct. Shafi, good to see you participating. James, good to have you on. Everyone, thank you for joining us this morning. All right, our next question. Where did Paul and Barnabas meet Bar Jesus, the sorcerer? Where did Paul and Barnabas meet Bar Jesus, the sorcerer? Was it at Antioch, Joppa, Paphos, or Jerusalem? So you can put A, B, C, or D. A would be Antioch, B would be Joppa, C would be Paphos, D would be Jerusalem. What is your answer? I can raise the music a little bit in between the questions. Where did Paul and Barnabas meet Bar Jesus? Was it at Antioch, at Joppa, at Paphos, or at Jerusalem? A, B, C, or D? Nobody's answering yet. All right, here we go. Where did Paul... Julia, I'm going back about, I think it's about 5 or 6 questions from last week. So you should have the answers to those. You and Indra and those who participated last week should have the answers to them. But yes, we are going back a few, just a few. I think it's about 6 or 7 of them. If your answer is Paphos, then you are correct. That would be, what would that be? Let me see. Go back to the one. It would be C. The answer to that one would be C. All right, our next question would be, according to the Israelite law, what did God not want among the Israelite people? Was it A, poor people, B, judges, C, servants, or D, landlords? According to Israelite law, what did God not want among the Israelite people? Poor people, judges, servants, or landlords? For those who were here last week, you should be able to get this one quickly if you remember the answer to that. So A, B, C, or D would be okay for you to answer. Shanti, is Winston on? I don't see, I see one man grew, I don't see two. So I guess just one is on right now. So A bunch of answers are coming in, but if your answer to that was poor people, I think that's what? A. That would be the correct answer. A would be the correct answer. All right. Bless the Lord. All right, so Chant Mangru is Winston. Okay. So Shanti is not with us. All right, Nanan is participating. Good to see you on, Nanan. All right, our next question would be, what was the initial reaction of the church in Jerusalem to Peter's visit to the house of Cornelius? What was the initial reaction of the church in Jerusalem to Peter's visit to the house of Cornelius? A. They criticized him. B. They rejoiced in their salvation. C. They shunned him. Or D. They had him arrested. A, B, C, or D. They criticized him. They rejoiced in their salvation. C. They shunned him. Or D. They had him arrested. Bless the Lord, oh my. Shanti's trying to get chat on iPad. Okay. I don't know if you guys checked out my screen. I'll just bring it in for a second. It's a little bit of picture that I'm checking out, and I was able to put a little stuff together. If you give me your thoughts on it. All right, if your answer to that question is A, they criticized him, then you are correct. A, they criticized him is the correct answer. So all those who got A, wow, a bunch of you guys. Very good. Good job, guys. All right, so the next one would be, what was something that men used in Bible times to settle arguments? What was something that men used in Bible times to settle arguments? A foot race, A, whoever was older would win, C, they would cast lots, or D, they would ask a third party. What is the answer to that? A foot race, B, whoever was older would win, C, they would cast lots, D, they would ask a third party. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name, sing like never before. All right, those who are answering C, you have it right. C, they would cast lots. That's correct. We move on to our next question. Which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? This should be an easy one. Which biblical character claimed his wife was his sister? David, Boaz, Isaiah, or Abraham? David, A, Boaz, B, Isaiah, C, or Abraham, D. Bless the Lord, oh my soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name. All right, the answers are coming in, and D seems to be the favorite. And if your answer was Abraham, then you are correct. Abraham is the correct answer. All right, we move on to the next one. Complete this verse. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, is it the same shall be clothed in white raiment? A. B. I will grant to sit with me in my throne. C. I will come into him. Or D. Let him hear what the Spirit said. If any man hear my voice and open the door, A. The same shall be clothed in white raiment. B. I grant to sit with me in my throne. C. I will come into him. Or D. Let him hear what the Spirit said. Hallelujah. Thank you, Nanan. All right. If C seems to be the popular answer to this one. Those who are doing this from home, and I know that Vilma and Sister, what's her name again? Sister Brenda and Sister Mary Chu and others, they participate from home, so they're not able to share the answers on screen. And I just wanted, them to know that we appreciate their presence with us and them joining us and participating in like manner. So thank you very much, guys. So the answer to that is C, I will come into him. If you have that, and it seems like most people did have C as the answer, if C is your answer to that, then yes, you are correct. At the time of Jesus, what would the Jews do before eating? At the time of Jesus, what would the Jews do before eating? Was it A, to say grace, B, offer a sacrifice, C, quote the law, or D, perform a ceremonial washing? A, say grace, B, offer a sacrifice, C, quote the law, or D, perform a ceremonial washing. A, B, C, or D? I am thine, O Lord, I have heard thy voice, and it told of thy love to me. But I long to rise in the arms of faith and be closer drawn to thee. If your answer is D, perform a ceremonial washing, you are correct. There is a lot of D's on there. Very good. Very good. All right. So the next question. What time of the day did the Israelites flee Egypt? What time of the day did the Israelites flee Egypt? Is it A, in the middle of the day, B, at night, C, at daybreak, or D, at sunset? Is it A, in the middle of the day? Is it B, at night? Is it C, at daybreak? Or is it C, at daybreak, or D, at sunset? I am thine, O Lord, I have heard thy voice, and it told of thy love to me. But I long to rise in the arms of faith and be closer drawn to thee. Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord. All right, I lost my place there. 1 second. All right, so if your answer was at night, then you are correct. Is it, that would have been B, at night. So if you had B, you got that one correct. We are skipping over some, and I'm just trying to get back to the place where I was last week. Some of these were just a little bit of just rehashing. I know a lot of us missed last week, so we're going to go back to where we picked up from last week. And I think the first question in that order would be the one right after, where Solomon made the decision. Let me see if I can get it here. Hold on with me for 1 second. All right, so this might be it here. All right, so here we go. And this one is fill in the blanks. But the Lord is powerful, loving, faithful, merciful, who shall establish you and keep you from evil. Is it the Lord is A, powerful, the Lord is B, loving, the Lord is C, faithful, or the Lord is D, merciful? Which one is the correct answer? Julia, I should have you sing. And Julia, by the way, you need to do a song for us for Thursday. We haven't heard you sing for a little while, so maybe you can do a song. Maybe you and your mom can sing together, do a duet, and put it on video and send it to me so we can have that for Thursday for our time together. I know that Ruth sang a song yesterday in our prayer time. What a blessing it was. It was so well done. Appreciate that song a lot. All right, if your answer is faithful, then you are correct. C, faithful. So we had a lot of C's in here, so thank you. I think a lot of you got that one right. We will move on. What word is used to describe John in the first chapter of John? What word is used to describe God, in the first chapter of 1 John? Is it A, light, B, love, C, steadfast, or D, unchanging? And Nana and I agree with you on that one. That last question should have been all, but yes, but C is the correct answer in terms of the word, the scripture. So what word is used to describe God in the first chapter of 1 John? Is it A, light? Is it B, love? Is it C, steadfast, or D, unchanging? If your answer is A, light, then you have got that correct. Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord. At the end of Isaiah, God says that he will send certain people to the nations to hear the gospel. Which people did he specifically mention? Is it A, the new generation of Israelites, B, the Gentiles, C, idol worshippers, or D, the Egyptians? Is it A, the new generation of Israelites? Is it B, the Gentiles? Is it C, idol worshippers? Or is it D, Egyptians? Draw me nearer, nearer, blessed Lord, to the cross where thou hast died. So the last question was A. This one is, the answer to this one is B, the Gentiles. If you have B, a lot of B's are coming in. If B is your answer, you got it right. All right, our next question. In Israelite law, if a man was found murdered in a field with no witnesses, which priests were responsible to atone for the sin? Is it A, any priest would do? Is it B, the priest in the closest tongue to the body? C, the priest of the man who found the body? Or D, the priest in the tongue of the man's family? A, any priest would do. B, the priest in the closest tongue to the body. C, the priest of the man who found the body. Or D, the priest in the tongue of the man's family. I am thine, O Lord, I have heard thy voice. All right, if your answer to that is D, the priest in the tongue of the man's family, then you are correct. All right, so we move on to our next question. And for that one, I don't know that many people got that one right, but that would have been the answer to that one. It was the priest D. In a priest in the man's family. All right, our next question. How did Solomon determine, and this is the question, one that we repeated again, or we are repeating from last week. How did Solomon determine between two women the true mother of a child that was brought to him? He said he would cut the baby in two. A, B, he would ask he asked question of the fathers. C, one woman finally confessed. Or D, he could tell by its face. He could tell by its face. What is the answer to that one? A, he said he would cut the baby in two. B, he asked questions of the fathers. C, one woman finally confessed. Or D, he could tell by its face. And a lot of A's are coming in for that one. If your answer to that is he said he would cut the baby in two, then you are correct. A is the correct answer to that. And let's move on. Where did the gold head of the statue what did the gold head of the statue in Nebuchadnezzar's dream represent? Is it Nebuchadnezzar and his kingdom? A, B, the Roman Empire, C, the nation of Israel, or D, the Medes and Persians? Medes and Persians. Is it A, Nebuchadnezzar and his kingdom, B, the Roman Empire, C, the nation of Israel, or D, the Medes and Persians? What did the gold head of the statue in Nebuchadnezzar's dream represent? Oh, draw me nearer, 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 blessed Lord, to the crossway. We had someone had joined us earlier on, and I don't know if a person is still with us, but they are tuning in for the first time and said that they are really privileged to be here and participating without answering in the live chat. So thank you very much for joining us. If your answer to that was Nebuchadnezzar and his kingdom, which would have been A, then you are correct. All right, a bunch of good ones there. Let's move on. When Jesus sent the 12 out to minister without him, in what manner did he send them? Did he send them A, separately, in groups of 2, B, C, in groups of 3, or D, in groups of 4? A, separately, B, in groups of 2, C, in groups of 3, or D, in groups of 4. I am thine, O Lord. I have heard thy voice. Lord, it told of thy love to me. And if your answer to that is groups of 2, B, then you are correct. All the B's got that one correct. The next question, and we're moving along. Which book is this from? I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider had he thrown into the sea. Which book is this from? I will sing unto the Lord, for he hath triumphed gloriously. The horse and his rider had he thrown into the sea. Is it from Song of Songs or Songs of Solomon? Or is it Exodus? Or is it Revelation? Or is it Psalms? Songs of Songs, Song of Songs, Exodus, Revelation, Psalms. That's a new book of the Bible, Song of Songs. But if you answering that question, I will sing of the I will sing unto the Lord, for your triumph gloriously. If your answer to that is Exodus, B, then you are correct. To all the B in the house, you got that correct. Thank you very much. All right, move on to the next one. According to 1 Thessalonians, how will the day of the Lord come? According to 1 Thessalonians, how will the day of the Lord come? Is it A, with trumpets and shouting? Is it B, with fire and earthquakes? Is it C, like a thief in the night? Or is it D, like a groom arriving at his wedding? A, with trumpets and shouting, B, with fire and earthquakes, C, like a thief in the night, D, like a groom arriving at his wedding. I remember how we used to have grooms arriving at weddings in Trinidad, in these Hindu weddings. Man, when the groom arrived, it was like the tassa drums from the woman, from the girl's side, and the tassa drum from the boy's side will meet together, and there will be like a celebration. But if your answer to that is C, like a thief in the night, then you are correct. C, like a thief in the night. And again, too, this is something that some people go back and do. Some folks have shared with me that they will participate in it at a later point. They try not to cheat to go ahead of the answer, but they do participate. And thank God for that. A lot of people have found this to be a pleasant time for them, a time of learning. Our next question: how many fruits of the Spirit are there? 7, 8, 9, or 10? A, B, C, or D? 7, A, B, 8, C, 9, D, 10. There are depths of love that I may not know. How many fruits of the Spirit are there? A, 7, B, 8, C, 9, D, 10. Angela, I trust you're doing better. I know that James had talked to me earlier on, but I pray that you are in a better place by God's grace. So we keep you in our prayers. All right, if your answer is C, as in cat, you are correct. C, 9 is the correct answer. Here we go to our next question. If you got C or you got 9, I know some people are writing 9, but if you got C or 9, either one is correct. How many days during the Passover celebration were the Israelites required to eat the unleavened bread? How many days during the Passover celebration were the Israelites required to eat the unleavened bread? Is it A, 7 days? Is it B, 1 day? Is it C, 40 days? Or is it D, 12 days? Is it A, 7 days, B, 1 day, C, 40 days, or D, 12 days? Praise God. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. All right, for those who are, I'm thinking here of Winston because this is his favorite type of, topic, dealing with, the Jews and the holy days and stuff, and he would probably get a lot of these right, but the answer to that would be 7 days. A, as in Adam, and that would be the correct answer. A, as in Adam, would be the correct answer. 7 days. If you got A, you're right. Anything else, it's a learning experience. We get this right. We'll come back with it at some other time and do it again. All right, here we go. Complete Matthew 1 and 1. Matthew chapter 1 verse 1. The book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David. Is it A, the son of God? Is it B, the son of Abraham? Is it C, the son of Jesse? Or is it D, the son of man? D, the son of man. Is it A, the son of God? Is it B, the son of Abraham? Is it C, the son of Jesse? Or D, the son of man? So in other words, the book of the generation of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of God, the son of Abraham, the son of Jesse, or the son of man? Which one is correct? If you love Jesus, tell it to me. Stand up and give. And if your answer to that is B, the son of Abraham, then you are correct. B, as in boy, the son of Abraham would be the correct answer for that one. B. I see a lot of C's and A and all right, our next question. First and Second Timothy is written to whom? Is it A, the saints? Is it B, the faithful brethren? Is it C, the church? Or is it D, Timothy? First and Second Timothy is written to whom? A, the saints. B, the faithful brethren. C, the church. Or D, Timothy. Which one is your answer to that? If you love Jesus, tell it to me. Stand up and give your testimony. He is my Savior. He is my keeper. Oh, hallelujah. Oh, hallelujah. All right, if your answer to that is D, as in diamond, it is correct. Timothy is the answer to that last question. D. It was written to Timothy. So for anyone who got D, you are correct. All right, so we move on to our next question. In which city did David reign over all Judah and Israel? In which city did David reign over all Judah and Israel? Is it Bethlehem A, Jerusalem B, Soko C, or Hebron D? Is it A, Bethlehem? Is it B, Jerusalem? Is it C, Soko, or D, Hebron? Which city did David reign over all Judah and Israel? If you love Jesus, tell it to me. Stand up and give your testimony. He is my keeper. All right, if your answer to that is Jerusalem, B as in boy, then you are correct. If your answer to that is B as in boy, then you are correct. We'll move on to our next question. If an Israelite captured and married a woman from a city they took in battle, what conditions did God place on them? If an Israelite captured and married a woman from a city they took in battle, what conditions did God place on them? Is it A, they must wait 1 year before having children? They must be blessed by a priest. C, she must convert to Judaism. Or D, she must shave her head and cut her nails. That's a crazy one. Is it A, they must wait 1 year before having children? Is it B, they must be blessed by a priest? Is it C, she must convert to Judaism? Or is it D, she must shave her head and cut her nails? Oh, yes. These are Old Testament questions, and some of them are, stuff that we don't really deal with a lot. So you're learning some things here. You're going to get some right and some wrong, but it's all right. We're going to learn from them. If your answer is D, as in Deborah, you are correct. She must shave her head and cut her nails. I did promise last week I would add the scriptures to this, but I didn't do it. So, but there are literally all of these are 100% correct. I promise you. The next question: what does the Valley of Jehoshaphat refer to? What does the Valley of Jehoshaphat refer to? And that laugh was in response to Julia with her questions. What does the Valley of Jehoshaphat refer to? Is it A, the Valley of Death, B, the Valley of Destruction, C, the Valley of Judgment, or D, the Valley of Bones? What does the valley of Jehoshaphat refer to? A, the valley of death, B, the valley of destruction, C, the valley of judgment, or D, the valley of bones. Testimony time will soon be over. Soon be over. Soon be over. Testimony time will soon be over. All over this world. All over the world. All over the world. All over the world. All over the world. If your answer to that is Valley of Judgment, that's C, then you are correct. The answer is C, Valley of Judgment. I see a lot of D and a couple C's are coming in. Indra is trying to Google it, but she's going to be way behind. You might as well guess the answer, Indra. Valley of Judgment. Shanti is back. She's on. And Shanti, you can answer A, B, C, or D. You don't have to put the whole Valley of Judgment. But then if you want to, that's fine. But yes, the answer to that is the Valley of Judgment. All right, so next question. According to a proverb, what is having a good name or finding loving favor better than? According to a proverb, what is having a good name or finding loving favor better than? Is it slaves and servants, many relatives, having great riches and silver and gold, or 10 sons? A, slaves and servants. B, many relatives. C, having great riches and silver and gold, or D, 10 sons. I know there are people who can use Google. Sometimes if you have that "Hey Google" thing, you can ask Google a question and he'll probably be able to answer it within a couple of seconds. Alexa might be able to answer it too. I never tried it, but you never know. Some of these, like I shared, you would have not spent any time studying, or you study the word most of the times to find what God is speaking into your heart. So sometimes we let these things pass, but this one I think is something that we should all, most of us should be able to get the answer to this one. According to a proverb, what is having a good name or worth or finding loving favor better than? Having great riches and silver and gold. The answer to that is C. A lot of C's are coming in. All right. Which one of these men was not a son of Jacob? Which one of these men was not a son of Jacob? Is it A, David, B, Zebulun, C, Reuben, or D, Dan? Which one of these men was not a son of Jacob? A, David, B, Zebulun, C, Reuben, or D, Dan? Oh, Julia, you don't have Alexa and you don't have Google? Huh. And there is also Siri. I am leaving Siri out. So, but you can, if you have 4 of them. You have Cortana, you have Google, you have Alexa, and you have Siri. So you have 4 of them who are trying to, I'm sure your phone has one of them on it, whichever, your phone is. Most of phones nowadays, I can do Alexa on my phone. I can do all of them except Cortana, because Cortana is more for window based. All right, but if your answer to that is A, David, then you are correct. David is correct. A is the answer to that question. Let's move on. Of whom was David speaking when he said, "Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women"? Of whom was David speaking when he said, "Thy love to me was wonderful, passing the love of women"? Is it A, Samuel the prophet, B, the Lord God, C, Jesse his father, or D, Jonathan? I think my finger was a little bit quick on the trigger there, so you it's not all of the above, Indra. It's one person. All right, I gave that to you a little quickly, so you should have had that. D was the answer to the last question, Jonathan. Let's move on. In the book of Nehemiah, how were the rest of the people chosen to live in Jerusalem once the leaders had moved there? I read that wrongly. In the book of Nehemiah, how were the rest of the people chosen to live in Jerusalem once the leaders had moved there? Is it by lineage, A, or by wealth, B, or C, by merit, or D, by casting lots? Is it A, by lineage? Is it B, by wealth? Is it C, by merit? Or D, by casting lots? In the book of Nehemiah, how were the rest of the people chosen to live in Jerusalem once the leaders had moved there? I am thine, O Lord. Indra is right. We've got, well, Cortana is in the church, not in the house. But the church computers has Cortana. All right, so is it A, by lineage? Is it B, by wealth? Is it C, by merit? Or is it D, by casting lots? You know, in the old days, there was a lot of casting lots, you know. There was a lot of that. So if your answer is D, then you are correct. By casting lots is the answer to our last question. All right, we'll move on. I'm trying to get through to this. We've got about 13 minutes or so left. How much were you required to pay an Israelite who sold himself to you as a slave? How much were you required to pay an Israelite who sold himself to you as a slave? Is it A, 1/10 of your income, B, 1 year's wage for every 3 worked, C, nothing, or D, half of what a hired person was paid? Is it A, 1/10 of your income, B, 1 year's wage for every 3 worked, C, nothing, or D, half of what a hired person was paid? A, B, C, or D? That would do. A, in the name of Jesus, in the name of Jesus, we shall have the victory. All right. If see a bunch of answers coming in, I lost my place here. If your answer to that is D, as in Deborah, you are correct. D, half of what a hired person was paid. That is the answer to the last question, D. I don't know that anybody got it right. I don't see a D showing up. Everybody is answering C or B or... All right. That's a learning one. Half of what a hired person was paid. All right, let's move on to the next question. According to the book of Romans, for how long have God's invisible qualities been seen? According to the book of Romans, for how long have God's invisible quality been seen? Is it A, since the creation of the world, B, since the time of Abraham, C, since Jesus came to earth, or D, since Jesus returned to heaven? A, since the creation of the world, B, since the time of Abraham, C, since Jesus came to earth, or D, since Jesus returned to heaven? Hey, Lord. Yeah, slaves got paid back in Israel days, right, Julia? Not a whole lot, but they got some. They were more like indentured servants, I guess. But this one, according to the book of Romans, for how long have God's invisible qualities been seen? If your answer to that, which most of us should have, there should be a lot of A's on the board, since the creation of the world is the answer to this last question. So if you've got A, which I think just about everybody is getting, you are correct. Let's move on to the next one. How old were the Levites who supervised the rebuilding of the temple required to be? How old were the Levites who supervised the rebuilding of the temple required to be? Is it A, from 20 years old and upward, B, from 30 years old and upward, C, from 40 years old and upward, or D, from 50 years old and upward? Is it A, from 20 years old, B, 30, C, 40, or D, 50? How old were they required to be? How old were the Levites who supervised the rebuilding of the temple required to be? And if your answer to that was A, as in Adam, you got that one right, from 20 years old and up. How Radhika is on to. Very nice. Miss Savvy, I didn't see Savvy on. Maybe she's working today. All right, let's move on to our next question. Complete Matthew 5 and 5. Blessed are the meek, for A, they shall be filled. B, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. C, for they shall see God. Or D, they shall inherit the earth. Is it A, for they shall be filled, B, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven, C, for they shall see God, or D, for they shall inherit the earth? Blessed are the meek and complete. If Juliet doesn't get this right, I will be very disappointed. Juliet, you're still with us? I think I missed Juliet. Yes, she's here. All right, Juliet got D. Let's see if she is correct. If you got D, like Juliet, then you are correct. For they shall inherit the earth, because I've heard her quote this many times. So lots of D's in there. And if you got D, then you are correct. We move on to our next one. In which book of the Bible do we find, if it be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king? Is it A, Daniel? Is it B, 1 Kings? Is it C, Acts? Is it D, Genesis? I don't think anybody should get this wrong. We all know the story of the three Hebrew boys. Where do we find it? Daniel, 1 Kings, Acts, or Genesis? A, Daniel, B, 1 Kings, C, Acts, or D, Genesis? There should be a whole lot of Daniel coming up in there. A. If you are putting down anything else but A, then you are not correct. All right, we'll move on to our next question. A is a lot of A's. That's right. That's the way to go. A is the answer to that one. Where did Joab, commander of David's army, die? Where did Joab, commander of David's army, die? Did he die in the desert? A, in his tent? B, in the tabernacle holding the horns of the altar? C, or is it D, on the battlefield in Egypt? I'm expecting a few people to get this right. Some of you may not have ever heard of this, but give it a shot, and you never know. You got a 50-50. Well, you got a quarter, 25% chance of getting it right. Where did Joab, commander of David's army, die? Is it A, in the desert, B, in his tent, C, in the tabernacle holding the horns of the altar, or D, on the battlefield in Egypt? And we are moving on. So if your answer is A, in the C, in the tabernacle holding the horns of the altar, you are correct. C is the answer to our last question. In the tabernacle holding the horns of the altar. If you have C, you are correct. I was expecting Winston to get that one right because, again, this is his field. All right, so let's move on to our next question. At the end of 6 years, Israelites had to let their slaves go free. What did they have to give these slaves? Some of their sheep, grain, and wine. B, documents proving their freedom. C, a new set of clothing. Or D, their wages. Is it A, some of their sheep, grain, and wine? B, documents proving their freedom. C, a new set of clothing. Or D, their wages? That's an interesting answer, interesting question. At the end of 6 years, the Israelites had to let their slaves go free. And what did they have to give these slaves? They had to give them either some sheep, grain, and wine, or some documents proving their freedom, or a new set of clothing, or their wages. All right, if your answer to that is A, as in apple, Adam, whatever, you are correct. A is the answer to that. It wasn't, it was some sheep, grain, and wine. It wasn't documents. It wasn't a new set of clothing. It wasn't their wages. It was just A, some sheep, grain, and wine. Back in those days, sheep and grains and stuff meant everything, and especially some animals meant a lot. All right, the next question, we move on. A proverb says that if you don't learn to control yourself, you will end up like this kind of a city. A proverb says that if you don't learn to control yourself, you'll end up like this kind of a city. Is it A, a prosperous city, B, an empty city, C, a walled city, or D, one whose walls have been broken down? This proverb says that if you don't learn to control yourself, you'll end up like this kind of a city. Is it going to be a prosperous city, A, B, an empty city, C, a walled city, or D, one whose walls have been broken down? All right, come on. Let me see some answers coming up. What did you see on the movie last night, Julia? Huh. By the way, the Jesus movie, you know, anybody has been to Sight and Sound, you know how amazing it is. And the Jesus movie that they have had playing is going to be on TBN tomorrow night, Wednesday. I believe it's at 8 o'clock. Don't count me on that yet. I'll send out I'll put a link on our Facebook page. I'll probably put it on our WhatsApp page too and let you know. But if your answer to the last question is a walled city, then you are correct. C, a walled city. So if you had C, there's a lot of D's in there, but it is a walled city. That is the answer to the last question. Don't see any C's in there. All right, but if you got C, then you are correct. It would be a walled city. All right, the next one. So according to a proverb, every child is full of foolishness, but this will rid him of it. The rod of correction, A, an indulgent father, B, a kind word, C, or D, turning the other cheek. Which would it be? A, the rod of correction, B, an indulgent father, C, a kind word, or D, turning the other cheek. If we are, I don't think many people should get that one wrong. If you are answering C, I can see where you're coming from, because that tends to work quite a bit in a lot of situations. An indulgent father, no. Turning the other cheek, no. But the answer to that is a rod of correction. If A is your answer, then you are correct. A is the answer to the last question, the rod of correction. And then I think that ends our session today, just about on time. We are at 2 o'clock, and I thank you for your time with us. Like I shared with you, this movie, yes, Julia, slap his little hand. But yeah, the movie Jesus, and it's not the movie Jesus. It's the one that they did at a Sight and Sound. And you know, Sight and Sound is really, if you haven't been there, you don't know what you're missing. But it is an amazing place, and they actually perform the movie there. You can sit down and watch the whole thing in front of you, just with some people performing, and the way it's done, it's almost like but anyway, you watch it tomorrow night. You'll get a chance to watch it. You can record it on TBN. It's on. I will get to you the exact time and date for it, or the exact time for it, but it is tomorrow night. All right, so thank you again for being with us this evening or this afternoon. We trust that you will have a blessed rest of your day, that you will join us tomorrow. I believe God's got a word for us tomorrow night in our Bible study session, and I look forward to being a blessing. I look forward to having your presence with us. We wouldn't spend a lot of time in prayer, but we will be studying the Word, and we'll be getting into the Word. So I trust that you will be participating with us at 7:15 tomorrow night. Until then, God's blessings to each and every one of you. May the good Lord bless and keep you in Jesus' name. Remember, Thursday is your time for fellowship. Last Thursday was tremendous. We had a lot of participation, and I look forward to the same thing this week. So get your videos together. Whatever you do, like Pastor Daniel shared me a picture of a turkey that he got. He missed it last week when he was doing the video, but he did catch one, and he sent me a picture of it this morning. But whatever it is your thing is, just kind of improvise and do your thing. If you're good at singing or cooking or whatever it is, put a video together, present it, and let us fellowship together on Thursday at 1 p.m. for our live YouTube fellowship time. So until then, until tomorrow night at 7:15, God bless you, and we will talk again. Bye-bye.